All right, hey everyone, Jason here. It's been a while since I pressed record on a camera, but there's a really good reason for that. December has proven to be a very challenging month. Work has been really fast and then really slow and then really fast and then really slow. And anyways, I've done a lot of work trying to get everything caught up here before the end of the year, but I've only got 2 hands and I really don't think I'm going to make it. I've also spent a pretty good deal of time here eliminating clutter and fixing things because I caught myself tripping over my tools, and the way I was doing this and kind of keeping rabbit hole jobs piled up on the bench, it really got to be a drag, because even if I was working on good viable repairs here, I still had all this stuff here in the back of my mind and it would just drive me nuts. So I still have it in the back of my mind. I just don't keep it all piled up here on the bench around me. The reason I'm recording this video today is I've got some new equipment, and some of this equipment is way overdue, as some of you will know if you've been watching this channel. And I wanted to wait until the very last piece of equipment arrived. However, December being a month where apparently everything breaks, one of my most vital tools gave out on me, and rather than fixing it, I tell you what, I had my new one arrive and then my old one broke on the very same day. It was like, what the heck? This thing's been in service for over a year and all of a sudden it breaks the day my new one arrives? Are you serious? Not just my tool, but we're talking washing machine, well pump, cell phones, just anything that can possibly break it's been breaking left and right. So today I've got some exciting new stuff to unbox, and I'm really thrilled to have this stuff. And it's been like very tough to wait to do this video to unbox it. So let's get started. I am going to unbox my most vital and broken piece of equipment first, because this is the one that's got me doing this video early. Like I said, I would have waited until my very last item arrived, but I can't. I need my equipment. I got to keep repairs moving. And for that reason, I've also got to make this fairly quick because I've got to keep repairs moving. The end of the year is rolling around. We are taking a short vacation, and everybody's trying to get things done before that happens, and it's just too much. I'm not going to be able to get everything done. So I think I've got this in front of a camera. Let's unbox this thing. Any of you that knows brand names probably already know what I'm getting ready to pull out of this box. Probably picked the dullest blade in the shop. This is the blade that Angie uses to unpack our mail-ins. Now, I'm not going to be spending a lot of time on each piece of equipment. I'm basically going to get this stuff out of the boxes and onto the bench. Much of the time that I spend arranging this stuff and making it so that it works for me, I'm going to have to do that on my own time because I'm really running short on time. So this thing came with a power cord, instruction manual. Let's see if we can get this out of the box. Ooh, this is so cool. I could have spent a lot less money on this, but this being one of my most used tools, and I also feel like a lot of my really screwy reboots and stuff when running on DC power, I feel like a lot of that is due to the dirty power coming out of this thing. And now, let's see if I can get this out of the bag. It's a lot harder trying to do this in front of a camera and make sure the cameras are getting it. I'm so excited to have this thing. I have been operating a long time on really cheap stuff, guys. I paid like $60 for this back, I don't know, last year sometime, before December. It's been in service for more than a year. But now that you see what it is that I've got, this is my first edition. I want to show you what happened to this thing. Look at this. Look, notice there's no leads hooked up. We have nothing on the outputs. I'm going to turn it on. Hey, look, it's already got a 5-amp load. That thing is smoked. So we're going to, let's see, I'm going to kick that aside. I'm probably going to go ahead and reuse this power cord for now. So let's kick this thing aside. And gosh, this is my first look at this thing. Now, I did do quite a bit of review online. I looked at EEV blog, what they said about it, and it looked like the biggest concern for me was going to be these banana plugs, but they're a lot better than the ones that were on my old one. And this thing will do some pretty cool stuff. So, like I said, I'm not going to go into a lot on each individual tool. I may do that in a future video, but the way repairs are piled up on me right now, I'm just not going to be able to. One of the reasons I did pick this one, actually a couple of the reasons. One reason is because I'm going to be able to hook it up to Open Broadcaster. I'll figure something out to where I can get current readings on the screen. And I think I can do this either via LAN or via USB, which is really, really, really cool. So our voltage here now is set on 120. That's where we want it. And one of the other things that I really like about this one is that it's going to be able to show a graph of current, so that whenever a phone's booting, if weird things happen and I happen to look away, I'll actually have a representation of that on the screen. So this is a really, really, really cool addition. And I had worries that it was going to fit on my top deck, and honestly, it might get moved around in the future because I really don't know how everything is going to play out just yet. I'm adding some other stuff. I'm going to go ahead and use the old power cord for now since I am recording a video. Now, I also see that this power supply, it came with sort of a set of, which camera? Let's see. A set of alligator clamp leads here, which I got some up there, but I believe I broke one in half. It came with a USB cord, and it also came with, oh cool, I'll probably wind up using these. It's got some leads that you can sort of lug straight on, and it doesn't take up your banana clip, or barrel plug, or whatever you want to call it. So let's kick this stuff aside. We're not going to go into that right now. Yeah, I've got to say, this is going to be my first and last holiday vacation. I mean, the last time I had an actual vacation where I was gone for more than 2 or 3 days, I was in my early 20s or maybe late teens, and it wasn't nearly as stressful. This time around, I'm a dad. I got 3 kids. I got a wife. I've got other family. And to try to get everything done for my customers, for the business, and just try to make sure everything is tidied up before we go, I'm not doing this again on Christmas. I'm just not. If we take a vacation, it's going to be like in the middle of something that doesn't matter. It's just going to be like sometime in like June or something crazy. To do this during the holidays has proven to be really, really, really stressful. So, and then on top of that, all my equipment breaking down. Like, I had all this stuff that I'm getting ready to unbox. I had this stuff on order, and I'm telling you, the day that this power supply showed up, which was like 3 days ago, my old power supply quit. And it's just like, I'd planned on doing an unboxing video. So I've been doing all the repairs that don't really need a power supply, and it's just, talk about hard to survive. Now, one of the reasons I picked this supply is because, another reason is because a lot of times I need to be able to power like the main battery rail, but then I find myself also needing to apply 1.8 volts or 3 volts somewhere, and this supply is going to allow me to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and hook up the power to this thing. I'm going to turn it on. I'm not going to spend any time fiddling with it in this video. I'm going to move on to my next package. And this one will be linked up to Open Broadcaster really soon. This power supply has a faulty backlight. See, everything breaks. Did I do something wrong? It don't work. Are you serious? I'd say my power supply has a faulty power source. Did I do something dumb? I don't suppose there's not much that you can do wrong, right? Yeah, you can set these switches on the back wrong. Who in the hell puts out a piece of equipment rated for 100 volts? I mean, it's either 120 or 110 or 240, right? Who does this? I'm sure somebody will speak up and tell me, yeah, I've got it set for 220. We're all the way on the left. So when both... See, it's been one of those weeks. So when both of these switches are all the way on the left, this thing is set for 220. And if we want it set for 120, we would put them both all the way to the right. But with the bottom one to the right and the top one to the left, we're at 100. And I've never met a 100-volt power source other than my old generator in the garage. That thing runs at about 100 volts. So if we put these both all the way to the right, this little thing shows that we should be at 100 volts, or 120. So let's give this a shot now. I mean, I'm not surprised at all. Like if I have to put this back in the box and send it back with everything that I've had breaking, it's not going to surprise me. So let's go ahead and power this on again. Hey, it runs a lot better on 100 volts, don't it? There we go. Now we got some goodies. So I think that I'm going to be able to take the image from this screen. I'm not exactly sure how the software is going to work yet, but I know that I can get data out of this thing so that I can overlay this onto my YouTube videos, which is going to be super handy. Let's move this aside just a little bit. We'll leave it right there. So there's my new power supply. I will be using this today because I am buried in repairs that had to be done today. And let's move on so I can move on. The next piece of equipment I'm going to unbox is also something that I've been needing quite a bit. And I probably could have done without this, but STS Telecom needs Christmas too. Kind of helps me to maintain enthusiasm. And I mean, for crying out loud, I have survived a year on some really, really, really cheap stuff. Like that power supply that I just unhooked, it's noisy. Like you can sort of hear the noise whenever it starts to limit current. And I believe, I've never done it, but I think if I were to hook that up to an oscilloscope, we would find out that it's very, very, very noisy. So let's get this box there. Give me a damn heart attack. I thought my new power supply was bad. And to put off opening it for 2 days and then find out it's bad, and then I really, really need it. Like whenever I first ordered it, it was just an upgrade. And then all of a sudden I'm dead in the water. Okay, so I'm going to take the cords for my new supply and I'm going to set them aside here because I will be using some of that stuff. And here is my next item. Ooh. This little sponge thing, huh? Does it swell up? I've actually never bought one of these new. Isn't this a sponge for cleaning the tip? Look how thin this thing is. Maybe you're supposed to add water and it swells up. You know what's happened? I'm missing pieces because I just bought the cradle. It also did not come with the wire that's going to hook it up to a station so that it's able to sleep. I'm not going to use that anyway. Put this back in this box. Those of you that don't know right now, you're saying, why would you buy that? You've already got one. Look, it's right there. You got one right there. This is... Throw this out of the way. This is the proper holder. And I hope I'm not really screwing this video up because I can't see what that camera's recording. Oh, and also, speaking of things breaking, I spent a little bit of the weekend here setting up camera angles for this unboxing. And everything worked out great all the way up until I go to hit and actually start doing it. And my machine BSOD'd. Blue screen and rebooted. Once again, not surprising. This is the proper holder for my 2032 micro pencil, which any of you that have been watching this video knows that I've been sitting it in the same cradle as my 2027, which it falls out, it's funky, it falls down in there. This is the proper holder for the 2032. It goes in and stops and goes into sleep mode. Yes, it's so cool. Finally got one. I waited a long time for some of this stuff, guys. So I'm going to be able to use the proper cradle. Nasty as flux. For my 2032. Yay! Now, I will admit, I hardly ever use the 2027 anymore. Almost everything is done with my micro pencil. But if I didn't have to switch irons back and forth, I could increase workflow quite a bit, and I would actually use that 2027 handle for a lot more stuff. So, there is the proper cradle for my 2032 micro pencil. Yeah, so cool. Yep. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I got tired of dragging cords across all of my tools here. So I no longer keep all of my tools on the bench. I only get out the tools that I need for a given job. The rest of the time they stay in a drawer over here, which is totally awesome. So there is my next piece of equipment. And to make things nice and proper here, that iron will go in there like that. Now, I don't know how I'm going to wind up arranging this stuff because I'm going to be doing a bit more rearranging here to get things moving really smoothly. The last couple of weeks, I have really caught myself tripping over tools and things going wrong, and you're struggling with this over here, and you raise up to do something, and you pull the iron back over, and it drags all your screwdrivers off the desk, and it's been a rude awakening that I really, really, really need to get my shit together and get more organized with the way I'm running my bench, or I can't keep up with the workflow. So let's move on. The next significant piece of equipment that I've got, and I'm actually hoping my last piece of equipment comes while I'm recording. That would be really, really, really cool. So the next piece of equipment that I've got here is something else that I've really, really, really been needing. And I had to do a lot of soul searching and thinking before I purchased this. Because I could have spent a lot more money and probably got something better. But at the same time, I had to ask, do I really want to buy one thing and put all my money into this one thing, or do I want to kind of spread out? Because this year I was looking at needing to spend money due to tax purposes and stuff like that. And I spent the whole entire year and I hadn't invested anything in tools. I'd bought a lot of inventory and parts and things, but I just hadn't really invested much money into tools at all. And whenever you sit down to do your taxes, it's really beneficial to be able to show that you're putting money back into your business. Otherwise, you have to put that money into taxes. So here is my next piece of equipment. I am just as excited about getting this as I am this, although this is just like, I'm telling you, this has been sitting in the box here for 2 days, and you talk about hard. You talk about hard to leave that thing alone. And then when my old one died, it's just like, Ugh. I promised myself that when I get this stuff, I'm going to unbox this on my YouTube channel, because anything significant that I get, I always unbox it on the channel. So yeah, this has been a challenge to leave this stuff in the box and wait for my unboxing video here. And I wish I had the last piece of equipment, but I don't. It'll be here today. I might slip it in after this video, but even if I don't, you all are going to see it in upcoming repair videos anyway. So, all right, here is one of the, I think this is the last significant piece of equipment that I have here for this video. I might have a couple of other things that are non-significant. So here we go. Man, I have waited a long time for this. Here is the stand. There we go. I hope stereo, like 1/8" headphone jack stuff is the same things to hook these up, because I know my 2032 Cradle does not have the cord to hook it to a station. All right. Also in this box are, I should have left this stuff out of the way just in case it blocks the camera. This is my brand new Hakko Mini hot tweezers, which I know a lot of the popular repair people and YouTubers love these things. And I started to say that I was torn and I almost spent a lot more money. I actually had the JBC Naze or whatever it was in the cart. $1,200 or something. But I just got to looking at it. And the JBC, I'm going to explain why I didn't go with the JBC. And pretty much the 2 reasons. One is the cost. If I buy this JBC station and a year from now it breaks, or 6 months from now something breaks, it's going to really suck to pull another $1,200 out of my pocket to replace the station. So a lot of the tools I have here, if it breaks tomorrow, I can afford to buy it tomorrow. And that's something that I find great. I mean, that gives me a lot of comfort. And so one of the reasons is cost. Another reason is because all of my gear is going to match, and I'm sort of shooting to come up with a complete separate set of gear for another workspace, which I've got another microscope. This is going to give me, let's see, I can add a micro pencil, and that's going to give me the ability to have, I'll probably stick this 951 somewhere else. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do yet, but I wanted to keep all my gear matching. So we had cost, matching gear, And then the final reason that just really, really screwed me up, and I tried to find, I think you could order that station as like a 30-day trial, but I'm not really sure how. I have no idea how that's going to fit on the bench because to me, it looked like this big old Christmas tree looking thing. And I was trying to picture it sitting here with the irons up here or whatever. And I'm trying to picture how I'm going to sit it. I couldn't slide it underneath how I do these things because it's got these Christmas trees coming up off of it to hook the cradles for your irons on. And so I thought about sitting it up here, but then I pictured sitting on my stool and having to reach up here to get my irons. And it's just like, as much as I thought about it, I started weighing this up, and it's just like, where am I going to put this thing? Like, maybe it's like my microscope. Now, the microscope, as you see, I managed to disconnect it from the base, and I drilled this big hole in the deck on this bench, and I actually mounted it down here. So the base for this thing is sitting down here in the floor, and I don't use it. So I thought, okay, well, maybe on the JBC I could do something like that, but I don't know. And then you, with the cost and everything, it's just tough decision. I have watched people use the JBC over the Hakko, and it looks to me like the JBC performs quite a bit better, but I don't know if it performs $500 better. I mean, I would have been looking at $500 more to get that station. Now, the accessories, the handpieces and stuff for the JBC, I think that's a little less expensive. I'm not sure. And then with the Hakko, one thing that threw me off is that I know that some of this stuff has been discontinued. I'm not sure if the tweezers have or not. So I worried, well, if it's been discontinued, am I still going to be able to get tips and stuff? There's enough people using this stuff. It's stable enough. If you buy one of these things brand new, you're going to be looking at high 200s, almost $300 for the tweezers and the stand. And if you buy the tweezers and the stand used, exact same price. The stuff doesn't lose its value. So I just can't see with something being this widely used and this popular, I just can't see that I'm going to have trouble getting parts and things. So I think I'm completely in good shape, even though it's somewhat of an older model. So here's my tips for this thing. Let me get my flux paste and my solder out of the way. Okay, and I use a lot of toothpicks. I use a lot of Q-tips, the cheapest ones that I can buy at the local store. We're going to move this stuff over just a smidgen. Yeah, now today, for now, I'm going to continue working on my micro pencil and maybe the 2027, but I will, I'll have to switch those back and forth because the one piece of equipment I'm missing is an FM203. I bought the station to hook the, I'm going to run probably the micro pencil and the tweezers off of the FM203, and then I'm going to run my 2027 off of my 951. So I'll actually be able to run all three irons without switching anything. Yes, finally, I've been waiting forever for this. Let me put together these tweezers because I've never even held these things, and to be honest, looking at what this stuff looks like on the internet, I didn't guess that they were this small, which really pleases me that I went with Hakko because I thought it was going to be considerably larger. And if what I read is proper, if you switch this the other way, they stay closed and you have to open. Oh, that's going to be so handy whenever you need to like hold onto a component or something. So the switch on the side here, you can switch it this way, and then they're spring-loaded and closed. And if you switch it the other way, it reverses them. They're spring-loaded and open. That's way cool. Yep, get my unboxing video done here, and then I've got to move on, guys. I spent 2 days without a DC power supply, only to find out my stuff's still not going to be on time. Now, this looks remarkably like the tips for the 2032. How much different are these? Well, I'm not going to brave it, but they look a lot the same. Okay, and they've got a little, sort of like a slotted head on them here so that you can't put them in wrong. There we go. Now, one thing that I don't like, these tips being out this far, they seem to have a little bit of play this way. I wonder... Now that might make me wish I got the JBCs. We'll see. I'll put these things to use and see if I like them. I think I'm going to love them. I don't like the play that's in those tips, though. That's kind of awkward. So how does this go in the cradle? Simple. I'm such a noob right now. Give me a little while on these tools, and I'm going to be slinging them in the cradle. All right. Now with this array of irons here, like I don't think I'm going to wind up leaving the 2027 on the desk. That's probably going to wind up getting kicked off to the side. I might actually take all of my irons, and you can't see it, but I've got this shelf right here that I keep phones charging on and drawers with some other tools and stuff in it. I might actually move these holders over there so that to get an iron, I reach over here and grab an iron rather than dealing with these cords on top of the bench. Because these cords on top of the bench, that's not, that's been a disaster. So there's my next addition. I have waited a long time for tweezers. I did a lot of talking about it. There's probably going to be a lot of people that says, you should have went with the JBC. And you know, maybe one day in the future, I will go with the JBC. But for this year's budget, and you know, I had to sink a good deal of money into inventory. I bought a bunch of chips from AliExpress. There was a lot of stuff that I had to buy. I anticipated one of these cradles not coming with the 1/8 inch, the cord with the 1/8 inch plugs on the end. So I actually sat one aside, and as you know, I lost it. Completely lost it. Where did I put it? Ah, there it is. I think these are going to be the same. This is a stereo audio cord. There's no different. So the connecting cables here, this is just stereo. You know, it's pretty much just like an audio cord. So there's my old cradle that I have spent much time with, and it's filthy. My new cradle, we're going to use this cord on it. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to plug that into the station here. See if it works. I did not just do that. That is an indicator of how the rest of this day is going to go. Should go right to sleep. Yay! All right, we're sleeping. We're awake. So cool. Yay! All right, good deal. Now, for the time being, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to kick the 2027 out of the way with its cradle because I'm not going to be using this iron today. And I'll probably figure out a way here to get all this on the bench and still be fairly well organized. But for today, I just need things to work. And I would not be recording this video yet. I would be leaving all this in the boxes. But my power supply died, and I can't do anything. I mean, there's very little that I can do without a power supply. I can do backlights and touch repairs and stuff. Let's see. These tweezers will not run on this station, so I can't even turn them on. They need the they need at least the FM203 or the 202. They'll run on the 202. And I think the 202 is the one that's been discontinued. I might be wrong. I was told that it was all discontinued by more than one person, so that really played a big part in why I took so long to decide what I was going to buy. And you know, although I'm not using those tweezers today, I can't stand to look at that. Actually, I take that back. Once that station gets here, I'm plugging those suckers in right away. So there you have it. I got a new DC power supply. I've got Hakko Mini hot tweezers. I bought the cradle for my 2032. I've had enough people tell me that I need to get a multi-channel station and quit switching this crap back and forth so much. What in God's name is that? Came with a Chinese throwing star. Okay, Awesome news. While I was recording the unboxing of all this stuff, my last package just arrived, so I can actually... This is so exciting. All right, so here is the last piece of significant equipment. Yeah, I was thinking that I would wrap all this up in wrapping paper and Christmas this all out and add a jingle bell, jing, jing, jing at the beginning of the video, but I don't have time. I don't have time. I had anticipated recording this all through Open Broadcaster to where I didn't have to edit, but since I clicked record and my machine blue screened, not just once, but twice, I thought, oh, that was just a fluke. And I came back later and I tried to record again, and it did it again. And it's one of these web cameras that I had in the mix. I'm so glad this is small. So I went back to my old method. Unfortunately, though, it's going to cause me to have to do quite a bit of editing to put this video together. So I don't even know that I can get this online before Christmas. Now, I have never touched or seen in person a FM 203 station. This is my very, very first impression. I've never seen this before. And I got to tell you, I am absolutely, completely, totally relieved. See, in the pictures, I thought that it was going to be too big to slide underneath. So I pictured I was going to have to get this up on top next to my power supply, which I might still do that. I'm not sure. But let's have a look at this thing. This is my first look at the 203. And now because it is here... Let's get these two holders out of my way. What did I do? Oh, I threw it up over the back. This is so cool. I'm going to finally have hot tweezers. All of you that have watched me putting backlight filters on with hot air are probably going, thank you. I'll still use hot air. Man, that is cool. Look how small this is. That is so small. Is there anything I can give you here for reference? Yeah, here. Okay, this is a Galaxy S7 Active. You know, most people watching this channel, you're working on phones. That's a Galaxy S7 Active. Not a Plus or anything. It's just a regular old S7. It's not too much bigger than that. So this is really, really reasonably sized. That's totally cool. One thing that just hit me, everything that is on this bench is running on battery backup, and I think I've been pushing the limits of what my supply is able to deliver, and I hope that I don't overbudge this thing. If I do, this whole entire recording process is going to be shut down. Before I hit the power button on any of this stuff, this station, I might actually double check that. Where did I have that one plugged? Trash can out of the way. Big subwoofer out of the way. Big subwoofer. That's the stuff I hide from you guys. You don't see all my speakers and things. Like, I don't like to post videos without hearing what it sounds like. Let's see. Am I going to continue to put this on bottom, or am I going to move this to top? I'm not sure, but I know the 951 is going to go bye-bye for now, because I'm not going to use the 2027 today. So for now, let's see. Let's just see what this feels like on top. What if I scoot my supply over? Now, when I said tripping over cords, like soldering iron, I'll go to put the soldering iron in the cradle, and my soldering iron will burn the DC power supply cord. It's like I can't continue to work like that. It's driving me nuts. So let's see. Let's keep DC power somewhat to the left. And also, I got to make sure my microscope has full travel. Now, I may not leave it all like this, but what I'm doing right now, I'm setting this up for today, because as soon as I stop recording this video, I've got to start repairing things. Let's see, so we get some travel over there. What if I go, one of my most used areas is, like, you can't tell where my most used area is. So back here. I don't think that's going to be a problem. So let's tentatively sit that station there for now. Right now, my most used iron Is this 2032? Okay, drop that back there. Just kind of getting an idea of how this stuff is going to sit here. That's not bad. As long as I don't put tools here to drag the cords across, right? Go. Yeah, I know wherever I put this stuff, I've got to be able to get them in and out of the cradles without burning my DC power supply leads. So I might actually wind up moving this stuff around and putting my holders over here. I'm not sure, but for now, let's get our Hakko key out. Wait a minute. Were they nice enough? To make the keys the same? Like, I'm a total noob. Now you guys are going to know just how much of a noob I am. Can I use the 951 key? Yay, look at that. Sweet. So I'll just put this away. All right, so we've got a D and an S on the back for our sleep. And on the front, we've got D and S. And it looks like D can run tweezers and things, but S cannot. That's interesting. So we are going to be plugging our mini hot tweezers into D. Like that. And then we'll take our stereo audio cable here on the back of here and plug it into D. I might be completely blocking camera views. I had this all set up a lot better, and then it didn't work out. So, and I didn't have time to change and fix anything either because I have to do my job today. Okay, so then our other one, plug it into S. And then our micro pencil here, just going to plug into S. There we go. Now, before I turn this station on, I'm actually going to stop the recording of my bench in case, when that thing fires up, in case it trips the breaker on my battery backup. I'm not recording in a format that I can recover. That would trash my whole video. Okay, move our tools out of the way. Like I said, I've been keeping my tools cleaned up and not all piled up here on the bench because I'm tired of tripping over myself and falling over things. And I don't think this station is going to work out because I use thousands of Q-tips and toothpicks, and that being right there is going to get right square in my way. So I actually think I'm going to wind up sitting that station off the bench. I'm not 100% sure yet. For now, I'm going to leave it just like it is. Put my Q-tips there. I normally keep Q-tips there, toothpicks here, and that's just that's not going to work out. This too many cords. The stuff's got to it's got to be rearranged. So I'm not going to do that right now, but you will see that in a future video. Let's figure out how to turn this thing on. Is there like a power button? Yeah, there's a switch on the back. Good thing they didn't label the power button like pound or asterisk. I see the mini hot tweezers smoking. Okay, so looks like everything's set at 750. I normally work with my micro pencil at 800. It helps me to not have to use hot air and the micro pencil at the same time. Okay, so let's set this box aside. Okay. Let's see, I had two other packages here. I've got more stuff around. I've ordered a ton of stuff. I finally got me a new JSO2. Like, I burnt up my JSO2, which I don't know how you do that, but sometimes these tips just die. The 0.1 millimeter conical tip for the micro pencil, they seem to just die. And also when they die, it's sort of like a turkey like a turkey thermometer, this little pin seems to pop out of the back when they're dead. And once they do that, they just say error. I don't know if I shouldn't be running them on 800 or what. Probably running them too hot. I'm probably killing them. So I've got me a new JSO2. This thing now only says error. And because I'm a pack rat, I haven't thrown away any of my burnt up tips. Yeah, finally got my JSO2 back. Put that back here. Let's see, one of these envelopes I already tore open. It is simply some longer leads to go with my power supply. I didn't pick these, Amazon did. They're saying, hey, you're going to order a power supply? Buy these. So I did. It's like, yeah, what the heck? So there's my leads. Throw those away. More trash. And if I don't put the trash can back where it goes, I'll throw trash in the floor there. Let's see, what is this one going to be? Stencils. Good. These stencils absolutely totally suck, and I'll probably return those. Huh. Well, you get what you paid for. This isn't going to work out. These were advertised as direct heat stencils, and I'm telling you, the difference in direct heat that I bought here for the 7 compared to direct heat that I use all the time for the 6 Plus and the 6s, these are really strong and they don't actually bend. And I'm telling you, if I try to reball something, dang it, I've got a handful of 7s to work on today. And if I try to reball with these stencils, this is just going to be a nightmare. They're too bendy. I'm putting those back in the package. This was advertised as being heavy duty steel and direct heat. Now, I haven't had a problem with cheap stencils as long as they say direct heat and they're made to be heated. Like, why would you buy stencils that you weren't going to heat? I don't understand that, but where's that package at? So, let's see, I've got a pile of boxes back here, a pile of instruction manuals. Since that Hakko don't have anything in English on the front of it, I'm probably going to have to read the instructions to figure out how to set the temperatures. And there you have it. There is my new gear. Depending on how things go here by the end of the year, and also, just after the first of the year, I'm planning on replacing the station with something that has sleep mode, because this thing spends a lot of time on. If I'm in the middle of doing a lengthy rework job, I'll just leave that thing sitting there on at 390 degrees C, and I reach up and grab it and use it as I need it, and it sits there hot for a long time. Now, that does say something about the quality of this machine, because it doesn't self-destruct. A lot of these cheaper rework stations, like the very first one that I used, if you were to leave the soldering iron on and come back to it like 2 hours later, it would be melted into a puddle around the stand. It was just awful. But as far as this station, I'm finding myself really wanting something that will go to sleep whenever I put the handle down. That's going to be really handy, and also have presets. So hot air. The one other thing that I'm most likely going to be upgrading before the end of the year, maybe just after, is my meter, because this thing is it works, but it's horribly inaccurate, and you wind up getting a baseline for 0. I haven't found a way to calibrate it, and it seems like every time I use it, it's a little bit different. It's never really completely consistent. It does get the job done, but being one of my most used tools, it slows me down because it causes me headaches. And my whole reason for doing all this is to get rid of headaches and help things move through here faster, because I needed to move through here faster. Okay, let's see. I think that is all I've got for today. Yep, that is all I've got here for today. I'm probably, let's see, I might sit the station. You probably can't see it, but there's a big desktop computer tower here. I might wind up putting that station up there. Just depends on how the cords go. But this whole rearranging thing and changing the way that I work, that's going to have to be a project for a different day, because I'm completely out of time. Almost half the day is gone, and I've got, about 6 days left before we take our little vacation. So I'm going to have to call this video to an end, and I thank you for joining me here, and I'm happy to be able to have shared this with all of you. I do want to say that sharing this with you really means a lot to me, and that's why I waited so long to do this. I suffered through misery and hell so that I could record this unboxing and post it on YouTube. So Everybody, I hope you have a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. If I don't see you before then, I'm actually going to try to post a repair video before then, but I don't know if it's going to work out because things are really hectic. So that's it for now. I do thank you for watching. I hope you have successful repairs, and I can't wait to try out these hot tweezers today. I was tempted to do it on this video, but I got to go. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time.